Jesus. I've been living the last 20 years like I'm on shore leave. What the hell is that about?
In Mad Men, Roger Sterling represents something we rarely see explored on television: privilege as a curse. Born with a silver spoon, war hero, founding partner with his name on the building, Roger had every advantage society could offer. But watch him closely across 7 seasons, and you'll see a man slowly realizing that having everything handed to you comes with a hidden cost. A cost that wealth can't fix and status can't erase. This is the price of privilege in Mad Men, and Roger Sterling paid it in full. We typically think of privilege as an advantage, and on the surface, it is. Roger Sterling was born into one of Madison Avenue's most prestigious families. His father founded Sterling Cooper. His last name was literally the company brand. But Mad Men does something fascinating with Roger. It treats his privilege not as a blessing, but as a kind of disability, a golden cage that prevents him from developing the very qualities that make life meaningful. Unlike every other major character on the show, Roger didn't have to fight for his place at the table. The table was built by his father. His seat was waiting for him before he was even born. Sterling Cooper wasn't just where he worked, it was his birthright.
I've acted like I've started a business my whole life, but I inherited it.
And here's the thing, this lack of struggle destroys him from the inside out. For the first few seasons, Roger seems to have it figured out. He's charming, witty, effortlessly confident. He's got the perfect quip for every situation and enough charisma to seduce Joan Holloway, arguably the sharpest, most desirable woman in the entire office.
You're off limits.
I don't think he's the one who needs to be reminded.
Oh, come on. He was all over you the time you wore that red dress, the one with the bow in the back that makes you look like a present.
You have an incredible memory.
Well, I think about it a lot. That dress, I mean.
Their relationship reveals something important about Roger. Joan and Roger share a worldview. They both see through the performance of corporate America. They understand that it's all a game. But where Joan uses this insight to survive and eventually thrive in a system designed to exploit her, Roger uses his to coast. And that's where the price of privilege becomes clear. Because Mad Men isn't really about the glamorous heyday of advertising. It's about what happens when you realize that having everything means you've earned nothing. And Roger Sterling, more than any other character, pays that price. If you're enjoying this deep dive into one of television's most complex characters, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. The first price Roger pays for his privilege is that he never grows up. Roger's generation, the greatest generation, defined themselves through World War II. They defeated fascism, saved the world, came home as heroes. For men like Roger, that identity was supposed to last a lifetime. But here's what privilege does. It freezes you in place. When you never have to adapt, you don't develop the capacity to change. The 1960s demanded change. Vietnam wasn't World War II. It was complicated, morally ambiguous. The civil rights movement challenged everything. Young people rejected their parents' values. The entire culture was transforming. Roger couldn't keep up, and his privilege meant he didn't think he had to. Look at how he responds when the firm has an opportunity to pitch Honda motorcycles. This is a massive account, potentially game-changing for Sterling Cooper Draper Price, but Roger can't separate the company from his memories of fighting Japan in the Pacific. On the day of the pitch, instead of helping land the account, Roger gets drunk and confronts the Honda executives directly.
Akira, go ahead, tell him what I said.
Roger, stop it. These men are our guests.
I know exactly who these men are. You think you can just come in here and we'll fawn all over you? We beat you, and we'll beat you again. And we don't want any of your Jap crap. So, sayonara.
His partners are furious, not just because he cost them the account, but because he's so stuck in the past that he can't see the present clearly.
Christ on a cracker, where do you get off? You know what? You weren't there. You weren't anywhere. I'm sorry you can't understand.
It's been almost 20 years. And whether you like it or not, the world has moved on. These are not the same people.
How could that be? I'm the same people.
And that's the core of his tragedy. While everyone around him is evolving, adapting, changing with the times, Roger remains frozen. He's a 1945 hero trying to navigate a 1965 world, and he doesn't have the tools to do it. His fear of becoming irrelevant drives increasingly pathetic behavior. He experiments with LSD, hoping a psychedelic trip will give him some profound revelation about life. He grows his sideburns out and wears tinted glasses, desperately trying to look hip and contemporary. He dates younger and younger women, as if proximity to youth might somehow make him young again. But you can't fight time, and you certainly can't fight it with facial hair and acid trips. Roger never really came home from the war. He's been in permanent celebration mode, treating civilian life like one long party because his money and status mean he never has to be serious about anything. But the party can't last forever, and privilege doesn't prepare you for when it ends. Here's the second price Roger pays for his privilege. When everything is given to you, nothing has value. He's never had to choose things because he could always have both. He's never had to sacrifice because sacrifice was never required. And this creates a spiritual emptiness that money can't fill. Look at the contrast between Roger and Pete Campbell. Pete also came from privilege. Pete also used family connections. But Pete understands that privilege only gets you in the door. You still have to prove you belong there. Throughout the series, Pete fights for every account, schemes for every promotion, works to justify his existence. When Pete lands a client, he feels genuine accomplishment because he earned it through effort. Roger never developed that muscle. When Lucky Strike, the firm's biggest account, leaves, the other partners are furious, not just because he lost it, but because he never tried to keep it. He inherited the account from his father and assumed it would always be there.
One damn account, and you ignored it.
You don't know what you're talking about, Pete. Explain it to him.
You squeezed me off of it, Roger. You wanted it all to yourself.
He would have never let this happen. But you do what you can do, which is nothing.
This is the price of privilege. Roger can't value what he has because he never had to fight for it. And because he can't value it, he can't protect it. And here's what's devastating. Despite being a founding partner, despite having his name on the building, Roger holds almost no real authority at the firm. When they create an organizational chart, Roger literally isn't on it.
Mr. Sterling's not on that chart at all.
It's true.
Oh, well, that was an oversight.
This isn't an oversight. It's an accurate representation of Roger's actual contribution. His privilege bought him a title, but it couldn't buy him respect or genuine competence. Because privilege doesn't teach you how to work. It doesn't force you to develop skills. It doesn't require you to become better. Don Draper might be a fraud, but he built his career through talent and determination. Peggy Olson transformed herself from a secretary to copywriter through brilliance and grit. These people know exactly what they're worth because they've had to prove it every single day. Roger has no idea what he's worth. His privilege never required him to find that out, and that's a price he pays every day at a job where he's essentially decoration. Here's a question for the comments. Do you think Roger could have become a different person if he'd been born poor? Or is his personality just who he is, regardless of privilege? I'm genuinely curious what you think. Drop your thoughts below. The third and most devastating price Roger pays for his privilege is that his life has no inherent meaning. When you have to struggle, struggle itself creates meaning. The act of overcoming obstacles, of building something, of earning your place, that process gives life purpose. Roger never had that process. Everything was given, nothing was earned. And so when he looks back at his life, he sees nothing.
Look, life is supposed to be a path, and you go along, and these things happen to you, and they're supposed to change you, change your direction. But it turns out that's not true. Turns out the experiences are nothing. They're just some pennies you pick up off the floor, stick in your pocket, and you're just going in a straight line to you-know-where.
This is Roger at his most honest. All the parties, all the affairs, all the expensive lunches and client dinners, they weren't meaningful experiences, they were just ways to kill time, because when you have the privilege to do anything, nothing feels significant. His second marriage to Jane collapses because it was built on the same emptiness. Roger thought marrying a young, beautiful woman would give his life meaning. Instead, it just highlighted how hollow everything was. Even his daughter, Margaret, pays this price. She does everything right, marries well, has a child, joins the country club. Then she abandons it all to join a commune.
I'm really happy you're Daddy.
I know.
Because privilege doesn't provide purpose, it just provides comfort, and comfort isn't enough to build a life on. The curse of the Sterling family isn't poverty, it's having so much that nothing has meaning. That's the price of privilege that no one talks about. So what's the final price Roger pays for his privilege? And can he ever escape it? By the final season, Roger does something unexpected. He stops trying to be important. He stops chasing grand meaning. He stops searching for purpose in achievement or status or youth. Instead, he finds Marie Calvette. Marie is crucial to understanding Roger's arc because she represents the opposite of privilege. She doesn't need his money. She has her own life. She doesn't worship him. She sees exactly who he is. She doesn't let him coast. She challenges him constantly.
Roger, please don't ask me for anything. Please don't ask me to take care of you. There's nothing else I can do?
This is the first relationship in Roger's life based on something other than what he can provide or what someone can give him. It's based on genuine human connection between two people who see each other clearly. It's not a triumphant ending. Roger doesn't win the big account or have a major professional breakthrough. He doesn't become Don Draper or build an empire. But maybe that's exactly what someone like Roger needs. Not more success, but less importance. Not more grand meaning, but simpler, more honest connection. Because the price of privilege isn't just what it costs you, it's also what it prevents you from becoming. Roger's privilege prevented him from developing resilience, from learning to value things, from finding purpose through struggle. But in the end, by choosing a relationship that requires him to be genuine rather than impressive, Roger finally pays a different kind of price. The price of vulnerability, of honesty, of being seen for who you really are rather than what you have. And that price, that one might actually be worth paying. Mad Men uses Roger Sterling to show us that privilege isn't just unfair to those who don't have it, it's also damaging to those who do. It's a golden cage that looks beautiful from the outside, but feels empty from within. Roger Sterling had every advantage, and he spent his entire life paying the price for it. If this video changed how you think about privilege or Roger Sterling, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the most complex characters on television. Let me know in the comments which Mad Men character you want us to analyze next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.